Hey, Big Brother fans. So we have the results of the week 4 nomination ceremony, which is going to be an odd one when we see it on Sunday's episode, given that we essentially have two head of households, Angela, who won it fair and square, and Quinn, who's using his deep fake HoH to take control. And by fair and square, that's a question mark. I'll talk about that in just a second. But hey, if you haven't, please smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our updates. This whole deep fake thing, to me, it's kind of a waste. It's always annoying when house guests don't use a secret power the way it's intended, don't use it at all, or blab to the other house guests so it's not even a secret anymore. I'm trying to think when a secret power was properly used. Nothing springs to mind. And that's what happened here, as Quinn first told Angela that he had it, and then Quinn told Chemo. And in advance of the second eviction of BB26, Angela told Tucker that Quinn had the second advantage, but Tucker didn't believe her. And he was pushing for Lisa to be evicted because he was so sure she had the power. As for Chemo, he went whispering Quinn's secret to others to help build his social ties. So now, it came around, the whole house knows. And half of them were salty that Quinn kept his secret power hidden, as it should be, as they would have done, no doubt, but they're still mad about it. So going into this HoH comp, lots of people had a reason to play really hard. Quinn did not. And Angela won the comp, which was apparently not overly physical, but in doing so, made an enemy of Brooklyn. That all came out in a tense conversation from the live feeds where Angela took some heat as Brooklyn called her out. Brooklyn confronted Angela for how she targeted her during the HoH comp. It was one of those head-to-head things where you get to pick who competes with you, and she kept choosing Brooklyn. So after Angela won the key, Brooklyn came to see her to have it out, and she was not buying what the new HoH was selling. Angela insisted that because it wasn't an overly physical comp, she saw she had a chance and identified Brooklyn as her top competitor. Then Angela goes on to insist she's fighting for her life in the game, but Brooklyn's kind of like, as we all are, I just think Angela was scared if she didn't win, Quinn would nominate her, and that's 100% accurate. But also, Angela was kind of low-key gaslighting Brooklyn, I think, in this conversation, saying, I didn't do you dirty, honey. Ugh, those are fighting words, right? But that's not up to Angela to decide. Brooklyn feels how she feels, and to me, it sounds like Angela did do her dirty, and of course, we'll see it on Sunday's episode and how it all plays out. Heavily edited, as always. Apparently, Brooklyn was forced to play back-to-back while a whole bunch of other house guests sat on the sidelines not having to take a turn. And in the end, the last stage of the HoH comp came down to Angela and Cam, and she beat him to take that second HoH of the season. Angela assured Brooklyn she didn't plan to nominate her, but if she had the power in her hands, maybe that changed with this confrontation. I don't think that Brooklyn is on Quinn's radar either. So who's nominated? Well, Angela's nominations do not matter this week, but at least she's safe and Quinn can't put her on the chopping block. Tucker, of course, was Quinn's primary target. However, he might have made a misstep in his nominations because he's given Tucker basically 3 chances to get off the block because Quinn decided not to nominate Rubina, Tucker's showmance partner. And if she gets drawn to play in the power of veto, she could win it and she could pull Tucker off the block. And then, of course, Tucker could himself win the power of veto and save himself, or thwart Quinn by winning the AI arena if he doesn't win POV and somebody else doesn't save him. So aside from Rubina saving him, Tucker has also gotten closer to Mackenzie, and that's part of why she's on the block, because if she wins, she will, of course, save herself. So Quinn may be safe with Rubina because she may not get drawn to play, and she's also saying she's playing her own game and wouldn't save Tucker and risk her game. So alongside Tucker and Mackenzie, Quinn nominated Cedric, who actually volunteered to go on the block. I'm not clear on what Quinn and Cedric are playing at with this. Why not put up Rubina, Mackenzie, and Tucker and just take care of the fact that then nobody is going to save Tucker if they win? And what's also nuts is Cedric told Quinn if he wins power of veto, he's willing to not use it and stay on the block with the other two and fight it out in the arena if that's what Quinn wants, so he doesn't have to choose a renom. And of course, what's really interesting in this, of course, Tucker is not listening, not processing facts. He doesn't think Quinn has the power to do renoms. Tucker was all in a snit saying that's a POV power. And he said, and you don't F around with the POV. And he thinks it's not an HoH power to do the renom, even though Rubina explained it to him in small words. And then on the live feeds, Tucker told Rubina, Quinn's trying to make it seem like he has this power. So people will respect him because he's upset that Tucker blew up his game. And insanely, Tucker thinks Angela gets to pick the renom, which is categorically untrue. And when Quinn actually explained it to Tucker in a very simple and honest way, Tucker called him a lying sack of shizzle. And that nearly brought Quinn to tears. He was even yelling at the camera that he doesn't like being called a liar, and it's all going to come out when the episodes air. It will be a fun little reality check for Tucker if the veto gets used and Quinn chooses the renom. And what's interesting is fans are on fire about Tucker. They think he's getting one of those edits to make him look better, kind of like they did with Jackson Mickey and Big Brother 21. And I can say it does seem like Tucker's getting a pretty generous edit compared to some of the things he's doing on the live feeds. All right, now down to Angela's nomination, the powerless HoH. We don't know them. They were not revealed on the live feeds. Big Brother has been cutting live feeds a lot, which is another thing aggravating fans that are paying to see them on Paramount Plus. No doubt we will find out on Sunday's episode who Angela planned to put on the block because she had to go in the DR and name her nominees because production has to treat the deep fake power like it's a secret, even though it's not. Most people think Angela would have nominated Mackenzie because there's been some animosity there, and obviously Quinn because she despises him, and then possibly Brooklyn for confronting Angela on her targeting her in the HoH comp. And if she had to do a renom, maybe Rubina, maybe Chelsea. I guess we'll find out Sunday night, and I'm guessing we'll hear Angela venting about Quinn's takeover, but she knew going into the HoH comp that she was his target, so if nothing else, she's safe this week, as is Quinn, so we'll have more of them fighting it out in week 5. That's it. Check back soon for more live feeds updates right here with Big Brother Junkie, and please smash that subscribe button if you're not following us.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.